Didn't we teach before? Didn't we teach before? Will I never be a politician? Will I never be a politician? Your relatives were aviators. Your relatives were aviators. Should we seek more funds? Should we seek more funds? Did they respond to our request for a quiet room? Did they respond to our request for a quiet room? He must butcher at noon. He must butcher at noon. You can't win weekly. You can't win weekly. We must put safety above all else. We must put safety above all else. Is her grandson a florist? Is her grandson a florist? Haven't you taken it before? Haven't you taken it before? Didn't you do it weekly? Didn't you do it weekly? His uncle was a trainer. His uncle was a trainer. Shouldn't I mix? Shouldn't I mix? They cannot doubt the moon. They cannot doubt the moon. Centimeter is a unit of length. Centimeter is a unit of length. We will travel to France next week. We will travel to France next week. I'm going to the movies with my family. I'm going to the movies with my family. We take a vacation once a year. We take a vacation once a year. Will you be an actor? Will you be an actor? Should the nutritionist be 2 weeks? Should the nutritionist be 2 weeks? Should we compete? Should we compete? Later I learned that the law was on my side. Later I learned that the law was on my side. Won't I be a sportscaster sometimes? Won't I be a sportscaster sometimes? I'm listening at noon. I'm listening at noon. Didn't I repeat? Didn't I repeat? Should he become a consultant right away? Should he become a consultant right away? 2. I don't want to lose my magazines because of low prices. 2. I don't want to lose my magazines because of low prices. May not be a stylist right away. May not be a stylist right away. He slept 8 hours last night. He slept 8 hours last night. 3 seconds later, the historian. 3 seconds later, the historian. Have we taught in 5 seconds before? Have we taught in 5 seconds before? His grandmother was a urologist. His grandmother was a urologist. Is his grandfather a painter? Is his grandfather a painter? 100 people attended the meeting. 100 people attended the meeting. Do you have to run? Do you have to run? Does he usually leave? Does he usually leave? I will go to the shop. I will go to the shop. Her brother-in-law is a member of the jury. Her brother-in-law is a member of the jury. I'm going to the dentist. I'm going to the dentist. Can he always finish? Can he always finish? Can't wrap after one day? Can't wrap after one day? I bought a new car last month. I bought a new car last month. Was my mother-in-law a caregiver? Was my mother-in-law a caregiver? Can he propose next year? Can he propose next year? I always produce. I always produce. His grandson is a salesperson. His grandson is a salesperson. They can't build every month. They can't build every month. Was his grandson a draper? Was his grandson a draper? The train will arrive in 20 minutes. The train will arrive in 20 minutes. He has to dance at 3 a.m. He has to dance at 3 a.m. Also, I think we should consider teaching online. Also, I think we should consider teaching online. I've never been tempted before. I've never been tempted before. Should I block it after 5 days? Should I block it after 5 days? I can paint yearly. I can paint yearly. They were expelled. They were expelled. Did we name it right away? Did we name it right away? I'm going to the apartment. I'm going to the apartment. Is your stepson a caretaker? Is your stepson a caretaker? Should we not organize? Should we not organize? They're going to the concert tonight. They're going to the concert tonight. They weren't climbing at 4 a.m. before. They weren't climbing at 4 a.m. before. The bells at the door jingled, announcing the arrival of the delivery man. The bells at the door jingled, announcing the arrival of the delivery man. Should save at sunrise. Should save at sunrise. I want to be able to speak fluently. I want to be able to speak fluently. Should he be arrested from time to time? Should he be arrested from time to time? Do you babysit often? Do you babysit often? Of all the options, this seemed like the best fit. Of all the options, this seemed like the best fit. Were you a blogger a century ago? Were you a blogger a century ago? He teaches math to high school students. He teaches math to high school students. The ground was covered with snow. The ground was covered with snow. Would disappear. Would disappear. Not sure if I'm in the mood for this. Not sure if I'm in the mood for this. He can listen after 5 weeks. He can listen after 5 weeks. His uncle was an air traffic controller. His uncle was an air traffic controller. I read news online every day. I read news online every day. All guests received a warm welcome. All guests received a warm welcome. Was his stepfather a researcher? Was his stepfather a researcher? You work daily. You work daily. Can we become beauticians every month? Can we become beauticians every month? We walked around the city for hours. We walked around the city for hours. Shall we say noon? Shall we say noon? I may have to work over the weekend to finish this report. I may have to work over the weekend to finish this report. Does he have to play every week? Does he have to play every week? We have to analyze after 1 hour. We have to analyze after 1 hour. Your neighbor is the auditor. Your neighbor is the auditor. It is important to use new words to improve your English. It is important to use new words to improve your English. I hate the color black. I hate the color black. For I'm going to the amusement park. For I'm going to the amusement park. Can I have your signature on this document? Can I have your signature on this document? After a month they can become carpenters. After a month they can become carpenters. He ran 5 miles in the morning. He ran 5 miles in the morning. 2 I will go out if it is not wet. 2 I will go out if it is not wet. Will schedule normally. Will schedule normally. I wear glasses. I wear glasses. Did you sort it a minute ago? Did you sort it a minute ago? Can't it take 2 weeks? Can't it take 2 weeks? You can work. You can work. I can be a housewife. I can be a housewife. I must not spawn in the twilight. I must not spawn in the twilight. Was your son a shipper? Was your son a shipper? Not in the traveler's country? Not in the traveler's country? Should I be an anthropologist in the afternoon? Should I be an anthropologist in the afternoon? He's going to visit his grandparents next weekend. He's going to visit his grandparents next weekend. You should add. You should add. Couldn't he answer? Couldn't he answer? Were we an apprentice fortnightly? Were we an apprentice fortnightly? Can we plan a team-building event to raise morale? Can we plan a team-building event to raise morale? Would fail. Would fail. It won't stop every day. It won't stop every day. I will go to the shop. I will go to the shop. They must give notice later than 2 a.m. at midnight. They must give notice later than 2 a.m. at midnight. Was our nephew a sociologist? Was our nephew a sociologist? I am not a daily commitment. I am not a daily commitment. Doesn't he recommend? Doesn't he recommend? Did they respond to our request for a quiet room? Did they respond to our request for a quiet room? We can usually say, after 2 seconds he wouldn't shout. After 2 seconds he wouldn't shout. We'll replace it at dawn. We'll replace it at dawn. Can they match after 2 hours? Can they match after 2 hours? I remove. Wasn't he an anesthesiologist at sunrise? Wasn't he an anesthesiologist at sunrise? May not be sent after 3 midnight. May not be sent after 3 midnight. Is our brother a financier? Is our brother a financier? No, there is no charge for Wi-Fi. No, there is no charge for Wi-Fi. Will he often not guide? Will he often not guide? Shouldn't they seldom have to deal with it? Shouldn't they seldom have to deal with it? They will not weld at dusk. They will not weld at dusk. Our mother-in-law is the decorator. Our mother-in-law is the decorator. By the end of the year, I will have run a marathon. By the end of the year, I will have run a marathon. My aunt was a wrestler. My aunt was a wrestler. After 5 nights, he can be a contractor. After 5 nights, he can be a contractor. I don't want to lose my love for machines. I don't want to lose my love for machines. Will it take off right away? Will it take off right away? Can we get a successful result? Can we get a successful result? It shouldn't matter after 1 night. It shouldn't matter after 1 night. We can kill at noon. We can kill at noon. Cannot feed. Cannot feed. I am below you in rank. I am below you in rank. Your friend researcher. Your friend researcher. Our granddaughter was the nanny. Our granddaughter was the nanny. We didn't pay every day. We didn't pay every day. Would he learn? Would he learn? Didn't he suppress? Didn't he suppress? I would like to live in a world where people are kind to each other. I would like to live in a world where people are kind to each other. They can do hairdressing after 1 week. They can do hairdressing after 1 week. Should you buy the assistant soon? Should you buy the assistant soon? Were their stepmothers garbage collectors? Were their stepmothers garbage collectors? Wi-Fi password is password. Wi-Fi password is password. Don't you need to fill? Don't you need to fill? Were his cousins cops? Were his cousins cops? Can't find 10 years? Can't find 10 years? You have stated that you are interested in learning more about horticulture. You have stated that you are interested in learning more about horticulture. I was not saved. I was not saved. Was I shedding every week? Was I shedding every week? After 5 weekends, they were going to play the lead role. After 5 weekends, they were going to play the lead role. Was your grandfather a civil servant? Was your grandfather a civil servant? You may not be an interviewer at sunset. You may not be an interviewer at sunset. Will it be cold at 3 p.m.? Will it be cold at 3 p.m.? We won't be able to see it in 5 hours. We won't be able to see it in 5 hours. Was your mother a fighter? Was your mother a fighter? Sorry, I can't sit here. Sorry, I can't sit here. Are we ecologist a century from now? Are we ecologist a century from now? Couldn't he have suppressed it before? Couldn't he have suppressed it before? Shouldn't he be a urologist at dawn? Shouldn't he be a urologist at dawn? Rarely cry? Rarely cry? The restaurant is open from 6 a.m. The restaurant is open from 6 a.m. I can judge after 3 years. I can judge after 3 years. They can't build every month. They can't build every month. Can't be appreciated after 5 minutes? Can't be appreciated after 5 minutes? Didn't he question 3 days ago? Didn't he question 3 days ago? Was your stepfather a greengrocer? Was your stepfather a greengrocer? Don't we need to wash dishes often? Don't we need to wash dishes often? They tasted the new ice cream flavor. They tasted the new ice cream flavor. To reach a solution, compromises must be made on both sides. To reach a solution, compromises must be made on both sides. His half-brother is a lobbyist. His half-brother is a lobbyist. I put my phone in my bag. I put my phone in my bag. He didn't wear it last year. He didn't wear it last year. Should we go to the gynecologist after 3 a.m.? Should we go to the gynecologist after 3 a.m.? He is the bartender every day. He is the bartender every day. Aren't you going to be a gynecologist at 2 a.m.? Aren't you going to be a gynecologist at 2 a.m.? Doesn't it continue? Doesn't it continue? Your cousin's postman. Your cousin's postman. I'm in the closet room. I'm in the closet room. What's your favorite food? What's your favorite food? Will it include? Will it include? Wouldn't he be a poet after one night? Wouldn't he be a poet after one night? Was her husband a philosopher? Was her husband a philosopher? Shouldn't it be borrowed? Shouldn't it be borrowed? I couldn't meet. I couldn't meet. Were our brothers referees? Were our brothers referees? They don't get old often. They don't get old often. I am a student and want to improve my grades. I am a student and want to improve my grades. He thanked. He thanked. He is a very loving person. He is a very loving person. No, sorry, I don't understand. No, sorry, I don't understand. He was to become mayor in the afternoon. He was to become mayor in the afternoon. May not be analyzed annually. May not be analyzed annually. You're gone next year. You're gone next year. I had to do a few extra push-ups this morning to make up for yesterday. I had to do a few extra push-ups this morning to make up for yesterday. Noon I don't know. Noon I don't know. Still, there are some challenges that need to be addressed. Still, there are some challenges that need to be addressed. What is the English word for blank? What is the English word for blank? Not every year. Not every year. Does he never question? Does he never question? Would they seek? Would they seek? I will work hard. I will work hard. 2 p.m. Am I not ticked? 2 p.m. Am I not ticked? I recommend you to learn English. I recommend you to learn English. His stepdaughter is an industrialist. His stepdaughter is an industrialist. Is his friend a golfer? Is his friend a golfer? I might end up with fortnight. I might end up with fortnight. They have a rest after 1 week. They have a rest after 1 week. In the afternoon they will have a picnic in the park. In the afternoon they will have a picnic in the park. I'm about to go to work. I'm about to go to work. Would we be programmers in one afternoon? Would we be programmers in one afternoon? It can clear after 2 weeks. It can clear after 2 weeks. Can I retire often? Can I retire often? I'm going to the south side of town. I'm going to the south side of town. You don't sit at noon. You don't sit at noon. Was he wearing? Was he wearing? Could he be a lawyer last year? Could he be a lawyer last year? Shouldn't you be connecting? Shouldn't you be connecting? They opened every day. They opened every day. We shouldn't be challenged at sunrise. We shouldn't be challenged at sunrise. They could not immediately become entrepreneurs. They could not immediately become entrepreneurs. Can you shepherd every year? Can you shepherd every year? Will schedule normally. Will schedule normally. Was their grandmother a gardener? Was their grandmother a gardener? Shouldn't we rule at sunset? Shouldn't we rule at sunset? Cannot measure. Cannot measure. Was her grandmother an intensive care specialist? Was her grandmother an intensive care specialist? He went to the gym to exercise. He went to the gym to exercise. You kissed 4 years ago. You kissed 4 years ago. White walls make the room appear larger. White walls make the room appear larger. I'm bored tight. I'm bored tight. They could notice. They could notice. I don't want to make a fool of myself by drinking too much. I don't want to make a fool of myself by drinking too much. Your friend was the mayor. Your friend was the mayor. Can it make cream? Can it make cream? Shouldn't we be aware? Shouldn't we be aware? May have been a warrior before. May have been a warrior before. The dinner party was ruined by the politics debate. The dinner party was ruined by the politics debate. Do you have a pet? Do you have a pet? I will be waiting for you at the airport. I will be waiting for you at the airport. I have to move out of my parents' house. I have to move out of my parents' house. Rarely can you improve? Rarely can you improve? A century later, they must be protected. A century later, they must be protected. Not yelling after 2 weeks? Not yelling after 2 weeks? Don't they come in every day? Don't they come in every day? They couldn't help. They couldn't help. Are his siblings doctors? Are his siblings doctors? They could not usually compare. They could not usually compare. His daughter was a cashier. His daughter was a cashier. I can't believe you said such a thing. I can't believe you said such a thing. Consider the impact of your actions before making a decision. Consider the impact of your actions before making a decision. I can exclude. I can exclude. Should they search at dusk? Should they search at dusk? He was rarely a lawyer. He was rarely a lawyer. We'll wait one evening. We'll wait one evening. They wear matching t-shirts on holiday. They wear matching t-shirts on holiday. I am going to the cinema. I am going to the cinema. I shouldn't be engaged. I shouldn't be engaged. You can withdraw up to 2 weeks in advance. You can withdraw up to 2 weeks in advance. Shouldn't you be a lobbyist for 10 years? Shouldn't you be a lobbyist for 10 years? Doesn't it fail after 4 weeks? Doesn't it fail after 4 weeks? Can choose. Can choose. You watch movies on Friday evenings. You watch movies on Friday evenings. Before we begin, let's review the agenda. Before we begin, let's review the agenda. Is your nephew a dishwasher? Is your nephew a dishwasher? Should be saved for later. Should be saved for later. Are you not afraid? Are you not afraid? We shouldn't catch it next year. We shouldn't catch it next year. I think these things are important. I think these things are important. I tie the atmosphere to the August sun to attract you. I tie the atmosphere to the August sun to attract you. His grandmother is a comedian. His grandmother is a comedian. Do you always have to be a combine harvester? Do you always have to be a combine harvester? Your nephew was a psychiatrist. Your nephew was a psychiatrist. She wouldn't cry for a week. She wouldn't cry for a week. I can feel that you are hiding something from me. I can feel that you are hiding something from me. I am below you in rank. I am below you in rank. His half-brothers are inventors. His half-brothers are inventors. Were their stepmothers garbage collectors? Were their stepmothers garbage collectors? Had been created. Had been created. Does he judge? Does he judge? The company is looking for a new marketing manager. The company is looking for a new marketing manager. Several clinical trials were conducted during the development of the new drug. Several clinical trials were conducted during the development of the new drug. Your nephew's caretaker. Your nephew's caretaker. Can leave every day. Can leave every day. Our stepfather is a stockbroker. Our stepfather is a stockbroker. Couldn't we have danced 4 nights before? Couldn't we have danced 4 nights before? I never watch TV. I never watch TV. We'd handle it. We'd handle it. His wife was a race car driver. His wife was a race car driver. I don't know much about it, but I'm willing to learn. I don't know much about it, but I'm willing to learn. Can I experience it every day? Can I experience it every day? It should not lock after 3 seconds. It should not lock after 3 seconds. My wife is a real estate agent. My wife is a real estate agent. I will anesthetize immediately. I will anesthetize immediately. After 4 weeks, it becomes a lifesaver. After 4 weeks, it becomes a lifesaver. Did you wait 10 years? Did you wait 10 years? Don't you normally have to suffer? Don't you normally have to suffer? The government has announced new policies to reduce pollution. The government has announced new policies to reduce pollution. Have we tested? Have we tested? Shouldn't we remember at sunset? Shouldn't we remember at sunset? I don't think year. I don't think year. Are your grandchildren priests? Are your grandchildren priests? My brothers are illusionists. My brothers are illusionists. Were we at noon? Were we at noon? Will he not analyze next year? Will he not analyze next year? May never report. May never report. My wife is a carpenter. My wife is a carpenter. You can carry. You can carry. Do you usually feed? Do you usually feed? I'm going to the grocery store to buy something to eat for my party. I'm going to the grocery store to buy something to eat for my party. Should they search at dusk? Should they search at dusk? What does this word mean? What does this word mean? His grandson was an optician. His grandson was an optician. Do you know English? Do you know English? Is to wake up. Is to wake up. I'm not in shape for 2 weeks. I'm not in shape for 2 weeks. Are you responsible? Are you responsible? Can't they be bounty hunters every year? Can't they be bounty hunters every year? Your stepson was the second man. Your stepson was the second man. Then they could count. Then they could count. Did he start a war at night? Did he start a war at night? Will not prevail at dawn. Will not prevail at dawn. My grandfather was an innkeeper. My grandfather was an innkeeper. Your half-brother is the inspector. Your half-brother is the inspector. He quietly rides a bunny. He quietly rides a bunny. Didn't you come back? Didn't you come back? That address. That address. I would like to work in a place where I can make a difference. I would like to work in a place where I can make a difference. Should he forget? Should he forget? How much is a room with 2 beds? How much is a room with 2 beds? Did you try? Did you try? Is it implied occasionally? Is it implied occasionally? Were his neighbors detectives? Were his neighbors detectives? Can he sign then? Can he sign then? Can it repeat? Can it repeat? Would watch at noon. Would watch at noon. Our relatives are physicists. Our relatives are physicists. Have we rented a quiet apartment? Have we rented a quiet apartment? Don't you cook? Don't you cook? We didn't get a kick soon. We didn't get a kick soon. You have to climb. You have to climb. Where are you from? Where are you from? My grandfather was an innkeeper. My grandfather was an innkeeper. Shouldn't we be right back? Shouldn't we be right back? He was directed to the exit by the security guard. He was directed to the exit by the security guard. I'm drawing an orange. I'm drawing an orange. He was able to notice it in the previous 3 evenings. He was able to notice it in the previous 3 evenings. This place is so bright. This place is so bright. I will not stoop to his level. I will not stoop to his level. Would he try? Would he try? Wasn't I a baker 5 centuries ago? Wasn't I a baker 5 centuries ago? Were our brothers civil servants? Were our brothers civil servants? He is not teaching now. He is not teaching now. Did they come often? Did they come often? Where is your favorite vacation spot? Where is your favorite vacation spot? Is his nephew an illusionist? Is his nephew an illusionist? Should you confess? Should you confess? His relatives are jewelers. His relatives are jewelers. Then he may not be a linguist. Then he may not be a linguist. Would you refuse? Would you refuse? Am I not sounding normal? Am I not sounding normal? He could finance it right away. He could finance it right away. We used to connect from time to time. We used to connect from time to time. Can we sleep now? Can we sleep now? We can't set it now. We can't set it now. Your aunt is an astronomer. Your aunt is an astronomer. Your aunt is a pathologist. Your aunt is a pathologist. Don't we carry? Don't we carry? Do they fund later at 3 a.m.? Do they fund later at 3 a.m.? Was your wife a waiter? Was your wife a waiter? I did not become a homeowner at noon. I did not become a homeowner at noon. It never connects. It never connects. I don't have much time. I don't have much time. Was our friend a fireman? Was our friend a fireman? I write emails to my friends. I write emails to my friends. I take care of my money. I take care of my money. Does he have to play every week? Does he have to play every week? Should we seek more funds? Should we seek more funds? If there is no chance of snowfall, I will go out. If there is no chance of snowfall, I will go out. Can you become a dentist in a year? Can you become a dentist in a year? I can't believe you did this. I can't believe you did this. Was his stepfather a researcher? Was his stepfather a researcher? This is a really nice car. This is a really nice car. Do you attack? Do you attack? I can't interpret. I can't interpret. Provide proof that you are right. Provide proof that you are right. Wasn't I 3 games in the morning before? Wasn't I 3 games in the morning before? I will protect you every week. I will protect you every week. I have a toothache. I have a toothache. He studies for his exams every night. He studies for his exams every night. As always, we had a productive meeting. As always, we had a productive meeting. I wouldn't be an artist at 3 o'clock after midnight. I wouldn't be an artist at 3 o'clock after midnight. Also, don't forget to bring your ID to the conference. Also, don't forget to bring your ID to the conference. I don't want to lose my love for many things. I don't want to lose my love for many things. Can they warn you after 3 hours? Can they warn you after 3 hours? Should I hide? Should I hide? Doesn't it design after 3 seconds? Doesn't it design after 3 seconds? I will have completed my diploma by the end of the year. I will have completed my diploma by the end of the year. They could control it 2 years ago. They could control it 2 years ago. Isn't it a vote? Isn't it a vote? I don't go out if the weather is wet. I don't go out if the weather is wet. Was her stepdaughter a cook? Was her stepdaughter a cook? She looks happy in the photos. She looks happy in the photos. We handle. We handle. This is urgent. This is urgent. Your grandson is a plumber. Your grandson is a plumber. Can't he stretch? Can't he stretch? They will have a baby next month. They will have a baby next month. Do you have to play? Do you have to play? You go out with your friends on Fridays. You go out with your friends on Fridays. We'll wait one evening. We'll wait one evening. We will not swing at noon. We will not swing at noon. We don't do tailoring. We don't do tailoring. Won't you watch then? Won't you watch then? I can be an illustrator. I can be an illustrator. At noon we will be warriors. At noon we will be warriors. I was so shy that I didn't shout. I was so shy that I didn't shout. Can it repeat? Can it repeat? Are her siblings interpreters? Are her siblings interpreters? His friend is a model. His friend is a model. We cannot place. We cannot place. Still, there are some challenges we have to overcome. Still, there are some challenges we have to overcome. Could not reflect at dawn. Could not reflect at dawn. Despite the rain, we will continue the outdoor activity. Despite the rain, we will continue the outdoor activity. Should it be tested after 4 nights? Should it be tested after 4 nights? Sometimes the manager. Sometimes the manager. Are their grandchildren dietitians? Are their grandchildren dietitians? Can you become a dentist in a year? Can you become a dentist in a year? Your half-sister was a dietitian. Your half-sister was a dietitian. It connects after 2 seconds. It connects after 2 seconds. Will they borrow? Will they borrow? Informed. Informed. I'm not sure what you want to say. I'm not sure what you want to say. Is your stepdaughter a receptionist? Is your stepdaughter a receptionist? He's just a forester. He's just a forester. He goes to the gym during the week. He goes to the gym during the week. It should increase by 1 afternoon. It should increase by 1 afternoon. Does not respond every day. Does not respond every day. We shouldn't create every day. We shouldn't create every day. The house is below average. The house is below average. Are you a night supervisor? Are you a night supervisor? Our children were artists. Our children were artists. His son is a pediatrician. His son is a pediatrician. She put on her sunscreen before going to the beach. She put on her sunscreen before going to the beach. It is then ironic. It is then ironic. Is our brother a neurologist? Is our brother a neurologist? Can't stretch after 2 hours? Can't stretch after 2 hours? He watched a movie last night. He watched a movie last night. His wife is a detective. His wife is a detective. They don't get old often. They don't get old often. English is an important language to learn. English is an important language to learn. This is a complete nuisance. This is a complete nuisance. I like bread. I like bread. Experience, isn't it? Experience, isn't it? Did it appear before? Did it appear before? His colleague is a lieutenant. His colleague is a lieutenant. Far from the shore, we could see the island from afar. Far from the shore, we could see the island from afar. Then we can concentrate on 3 a.m. Then we can concentrate on 3 a.m. Don't they miss? Don't they miss? Will he lose every month? Will he lose every month? Don't we pass at sunrise? Don't we pass at sunrise? Their wives were counselors. Their wives were counselors. Did our grandfather draw? Did our grandfather draw? Will he be angling bi-weekly? Will he be angling bi-weekly? His brothers are butchers. His brothers are butchers. Is my grandson a geologist? Is my grandson a geologist? Not held at sunrise. Not held at sunrise. They can always be the second man. They can always be the second man. Can I be a weightlifter? Can I be a weightlifter? You can be sure soon. You can be sure soon. Excuse me, where is the toilet? Excuse me, where is the toilet? He's just a trucker. He's just a trucker. Couldn't apply next year. Couldn't apply next year. Shouldn't be a journeyman every day. Shouldn't be a journeyman every day. Shall we open? Shall we open? Would he be injured? Would he be injured? Your grandfather is a cleaner. Your grandfather is a cleaner. 5 seconds later, admin. 5 seconds later, admin. Occasionally once. Occasionally once. Seldom can we row. Seldom can we row. The use of force is not allowed. The use of force is not allowed. Should we consider outsourcing some of the work? Should we consider outsourcing some of the work? Can we help? Can we help? Can you prepare 1 week in advance? Can you prepare 1 week in advance? What time does the airport shuttle leave? What time does the airport shuttle leave? Was not often an esthetician. Was not often an esthetician. Will they shake? Will they shake? Are you sure now? Are you sure now? Am I not an advertiser in 5 centuries? Am I not an advertiser in 5 centuries? You can come later. You can come later. Can he dive? Can he dive? I didn't think it would be this hard. I didn't think it would be this hard. You should consider all options before making a decision. You should consider all options before making a decision. Were your cousins clowns? Were your cousins clowns? Her sisters were educators. Her sisters were educators.